Oh my god, they've turned Diana into a Star Wars character. What the heck is going on? It was just a really odd line to say emotionally to your child. Hello darlings, mwah, how are ya? Welcome to another fab episode of Fabaret, my darlings. My name's Richard. If this is your first time here, hi! Welcome to the Fabaret family. This channel is all about theatre, music, drama, all that kind of stuff. So if that's your kind of scene as well, press the subscribe button and join the Fabaret family. Mwah! Ah, everything's falling all over the place. Right, I'm gonna put you on there. Stay. Right, flipping microphone, going rebellious, right. So my lovely Fab fam, this week what the plan was, I was going to be doing you a review of The Prince of Egypt that I went to see at the Dominion Theatre a couple of weeks ago. And don't worry, that review is still in the cards, I've got a lot to say about that. But there's been another big topic the last few days happening in the world of online musicals, and that is Diana the musical. I've seen various comments and reviews about all this, but you know what, I felt I needed to watch this myself. There have been reviews that have been slating Diana the musical, and on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a rating of 14%. Ouch. So yeah, I just watched it and I've got thoughts. I've got a lot of thoughts. I've got even more thoughts. Oh my god, there we go, we finally got to the end. Flippin' heck. So first of all, I'm not surprised that Diana's story has been made into a musical because it's a big story full of joy, heartbreak, love, drama, tragedy. So a bit of backstory about the show for you. So the duo who worked on this show together for the music and lyrics was Joe DiPietro and David Bryan. They've both worked together before. They brought the Memphis musical to Broadway, and the show Diana itself made its premiere at the La Jolla Playhouse in 2019. So the La Jolla Playhouse is a professional theatre on the university campus of the California San Diego University. Looking at the Jolla Playhouse history, right, they have a big reputation of sort of pre-Broadway shows before they go on to make it big on Broadway. So in the past, their shows have included Thoroughly Modern Millie, Bonnie and Clyde, Memphis, Jane Eyre, and Matthew Broderick's 1995 revival version of How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. So the pre-venue, the writers, the context, this should have been a winner. They had a few previews of the show before the COVID pandemic stopped everything. And now a filmed version without an audience has made its way onto Netflix. So the show is going to be opening up on Broadway soon, but this is becoming more of a trend with producers these days. So the idea being that people will watch it on TV, they'll fall in love with it, they'll rush out to buy tickets, and bing bada boom, done. Now it seems like loads of people have been trashing the show just for the sake of trashing it because they want to be in with the style of what's happening right now, and oh, the cool thing to do right now is to trash this Diana musical. In all honesty, watching this right, I will go into full detail, but there were some good bits, there were some bad bits, but overall I don't feel it was horrendous as everyone is making this out to be. Is it perfect? No. Has it got potential? Maybe. So first, let's talk about some of the main cast. Gianna DeWall, she plays Diana, and she originated the role at La Jolla Playhouse. So on Broadway, Gianna has performed in Kinky Boots and American Idiot, and she originated the role of Dawn in Waitress at the American Repertory Theatre in 2015. Ro Hartranft, I want to say. Why can't anyone in the show just be called John Smith? So Ro plays Prince Charles in this production, and as well as many off-Broadway credits, he's also appeared in HBO's Boardwalk Empire. And then we have Erin Davie as Camilla Parker Bowles, and her credits include the Broadway production of Grey Gardens and Violet in Sideshow, which went on to be performed at the Kennedy Center. And she's done Curtains, Applause, A Little Night Music. So there's a lot of experience in this cast. Now let's talk about one thing in general, is that a lot of comments I've seen online have been saying that this show is disrespectful to Diana's memory. Don't forget, this isn't the first media interpretation of the royal family, and I'm sure it certainly won't be the last. Helen Mirren played the role of Queen Elizabeth II in the film The Queen, and that was set during the time of Diana's passing away and her funeral. And although I haven't watched any of it yet, there's The Crown, and Princess Diana and Charles are being represented in The Crown, and I've heard that that's been received really well, so I don't think it's the fact that this has happened, it's more that maybe the portrayal of it isn't right. So when I was watching this, I do wish they'd had an audience because it would have been very interesting to hear reactions to little jokes that they were trying to put in, or applause after the numbers. It would have been so interesting to hear that. It just made the atmosphere kind of go, right, on to the notes. So it did feel like it was a sudden start into the show. Diana comes on stage, starts belting out a number, and there's a camera of lights flashing all around her. Maybe because it was on Netflix, they had to cut out certain bits of the show and the overture got cut. And I do hope that in the stage version, there is some kind of overture or slow, gentle lead-in before all the madness just goes bang right in your face. So I can't deny everyone, the vocals of this cast, particularly the leading cast, they are great, can't fault that. Okay, so opening number, it's called Underestimation, and the first dress that Diana wears, I was thinking to myself, myself, where have I seen this outfit before? And then it suddenly hit me. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I did recognize that she looked like a Jedi. She had the same kind of coat style that the Jedis have, and my instant thought was just like, oh my god, they've turned Diana into a Star Wars character. Oh, this bit I thought was odd. So Queen Elizabeth and Charles do a bit of singing in the opening about Charles needing to find a wife, and in the background the ensemble are doing all this dancing, and there's this bit where they're sort of thrusting their pelvises into Charles, and I was like, what the heck is going on? So the problem was, in the beginning especially, I just felt that we really didn't have a chance at all to get to know any of the characters at all. So yes, the people in this story are real people, and yes, there has been dialogue, fictional dialogue, written for this show, but the people are based on stories from actual history. So I was watching it thinking, like, you're trying to create characters out of these real people. You don't need to do that because they're already real people. It was really odd because there were moments where they were saying, I love you, or I think this, or I'm going to do that. It felt very much like the audience was being spoon-fed. Like, you don't have to do that. You can do more subtle approaches. I really wish we could have got to see a bit more of Camilla's emotions as Charles and Diana were getting to know each other more and getting married. I would have loved to have had a big solo number with Camilla expressing her heartbreak at the situation. We got like a 10-second little moment of it, and then it was straight on to the next bit. Oh, okay, so then we get into the number called How Your People Dance. This was like a Bach discotheque remix song. Yeah, I'm not telling a lie. The whole number was just bonkers, and it just kept moving around all over the place. And I don't know what surprised me more, the fact that Charles suddenly got up and did some breakdancing, or the fact that his collar on his tuxedo was not fitted properly. And in Britain, that's a very important thing. I couldn't believe some of the lyrics I was hearing in this show. So there's a song called Snap Click, and there's a line that says, better than a Guinness, better than a wank. That's the lyrics of this show. The first bit that really got me laughing just out of sheer hilarity was when Diana turns around to all the paparazzi in this Snap Click song. Because the paparazzi are all going like, Diana, photo over here, photo over here. And she just says in the most British way, please sod off. I cried with laughter. That bit was hysterical. I found some of the orchestration choices, particularly in the first act, very bizarre. Like, considering the world that they're portraying, there were so many electric guitars. And for me, the first half of the show is more the royal family trying to control Diana, or at least that's what they're trying to suggest. And the second half is Diana sort of going, girl power, I'm gonna do my own thing. And that would have made more sense if they brought in different orchestration with like more modern music and more guitars at that point. In the first half, I think they could have done it with a more gentle lead in, with traditional orchestration and more, not old-fashioned instruments, but you know, more instruments that you would probably associate with the royal family. And I think that would have really helped in a few numbers. And the earlier music, I think in terms of orchestration, does need to be reviewed and tweaked. Another problem this show had is that it kept moving so quickly between different emotions. So there's a moment where Charles and Diana are talking about their potential future together, and Charles is trying to get up the nerve to propose. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be like a really beautiful moment. And of course, it'd be a very interesting insight into Charles's character, because Charles maybe isn't 100% keen on proposing to Diana. But instead of us going off into some deep emotional moment, no, we suddenly cut to some random pink fluffy camp number with a novelist called Barbara Cartland. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for pink and camp and OTT, but not when it's right in the middle of a deep emotional moment between your two leading characters. I do have to give compliments to the costumes and the hairstyling in the show, because whoever was in charge of that got it absolutely point on. The style of the show, like visually, from the clothes and hairstyle for the 80s and the 90s, bang on. Also, there was another moment where I just thought, oh, you could have so gone into more depth with that moment, but no, we're suddenly out of it again. So it was during the song Happiness, Simply Breathe, which I have to say was one of the highlight songs of the show for me. It was gorgeous. So during the duration of this song, it shows Diana giving birth to Prince William and Prince Harry. So there's a moment where Diana is feeding baby William, and she comes up behind Charles and she overhears him on the phone to Camilla, and Charles is expressing his love to Camilla and saying how much he still loves her, and that was a real heart-wrenching moment. And so they got into this little tiff of Diana saying, you're still in love with her, you're still in love with her, and they could have gone so much deeper into that, but no, Charles just storms off, and I was like, yeah. Like, I get it, it's a musical, you want to have plenty of songs, but it's okay to have some moments where you slow it down. Because when you do that, you allow the audience to get to know the characters more, and that means they're more emotionally invested in the characters and the story, so that when the more dramatic, intense moments happen, you've got them already connected. Oh, this was another random lyric. So in that song, she's very sweetly singing to baby Harry, Harry, my gingerhead son. I was like, what, the actual? Who the heck would sing, my gingerhead son? It was just a really odd line to say emotionally to your child. I have to say, I really felt the heartbreak in Gianna's voice when she was singing towards the end of Happiness, Simply Breathe. You could hear the aches in her voice and it was really moving. That was the first moment in the show where I felt really connected in any way. That took 42 minutes. Now I have to say, from Diana's dance ballet sequence, I did start to enjoy the show more. Within limits, of course. I mean, the first 45 minutes or so just felt so silly and there was pacing issues. There were finally some moments of Charles and Diana really having some one-on-one time together on stage. Dialogue driven. You know, just the two of them on stage and you really felt the pain they were both going through. Like the music lyrics still felt quite basic at times throughout the whole show, but the dialogue from that point on felt much more powerful. Oh, and then we went into I Miss You Most on Sundays, which is like Charles and Camilla's duet. And that was great because we finally got some emotional drive with Camilla. I just wish that had started happening sooner. So once Diana became more of her own independent woman, the orchestration did work better with those themes and the ensemble style choreography that they were doing also matched. This is one thing that bugged me. So throughout the whole show, I got the feeling that Charles was trying to be portrayed as the antagonist. And that definitely became even more highlighted in Act 2. Thing is, think about it this way, Charles can't be all bad because Diana did fall in love with him. And they must have had some good times together within all the drama. You know, I just wish we'd seen more of that. So Ro Hartranft, I hope that's how I pronounce your name, he did a great job portraying the character of Charles with the material that he was given. It's just that the material he got made his character quite one-dimensional, and I wish we could have seen some more layers to Charles as a character. That would have been fantastic. The other song that really got to me was Secrets and Lies. That song, Secrets and Lies, was really beautiful, and it gave off Rent vibes, which makes sense because the scene is Diana going to visit people who have got AIDS. There's a moment towards the end of the show where Camilla and Diana get together and having like a cat fight. And the way they set up the ensemble and the lighting around Camilla and Diana, it made it look like a wrestling ring. Genius, there's going to be a wrestling match in a Diana musical. Of course, there wasn't actually any wrestling, but I thought that was very clever. So even though I did enjoy Act 2 more than Act 1, the award for the most bonkers lyric goes to, how about this feck you dress, this feckety 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 feck you dress? One thing that I was really worried about, and I'm sure that a lot of people were worried about, is like how they were going to do the ending and Diana passing away. Actually, the end shots with Diana passing away were really done quite beautifully. So Diana is centre stage singing away, and then ensemble reporters start to come in giving the news that Diana has been in an accident. And then we have this gorgeous wide shot going back, and all the lights that were filling the stage as if they were cameras flashing off. All of those lights die down into the dark, and then Diana turns around and walks into the dark very slowly. And that was it. It was actually done with a lot of grace, and I'm really glad that that worked out well. I saw a great comment about the show online that I have to read out. If you go in thinking the Windsors rather than the Crown, there are some fun moments to be had, and it could become, in time, a camp cult classic. I think that perfectly sums up the show, especially the James Hewitt number at the start of Act 2. That's got Camp Cult Classic written all over it. So, lovelies, that is my review of Diana the Musical. Have you watched Diana the Musical? I'd love to know your thoughts. Leave a comment below. And don't forget, my darlings, you can follow me on Facebook and TikTok at Fabaret, and Instagram and Twitter at Fabaret_Richard. And subscribe here as well and join the Fabaret family. Mwah! My Prince of Egypt review will be coming next week for you, my lovelies. But for right now, that's it from me, my lovelies. Stay fab with Fabaret. Mwah! Bye!